69 minutes, that's all it took for Jack Draper to take down Holger Rune in his first Masters 1000 final with a double 6-2 victory, capping a fairy tale week and consolidating his name on the top 10 for the first time in his career. But if we go back just a year ago, Draper was losing the first round of the same tournament to Australian Christopher O'Connell. So what changed in the past year for the Brit? And what does this mean for the rest of the ATP Tour?
I'm very ambitious, so I don't want to just stop here. I want to keep on going.
If you only saw the scoreboard, you would think that Rune didn't even show up to the match. But that is far from the truth. Although Rune had a slow start, he did manage to get up and play a pretty good level of tennis for the most time. When watching the match, it almost felt like Draper won his point with such ease, while Rune had to play exceptionally well and force his way into winning a point by hitting low percentage shots, such as flat groundstroke shots from behind the baseline.
It has to be that good from Rune just to win a point.
So why did it feel like Rune was struggling just to stay afloat? The answer lies in how Draper used Indian Wells' high bounce to his advantage. While some players found the conditions frustrating, Jack took full advantage of it. His return strategy was a key factor. Instead of stepping in and attacking Rune's serve early, Draper stood further back, giving himself time to take high deep returns, and immediately trapped Rune behind the baseline. Once he was able to take control of the point with his forehand, it was pretty much game over for Rune. And if Draper's return was sharp, his serving was world class. The ATP has a metric called serve rating, which measures overall serve effectiveness, taking into account first serve percentage, first and second serve points won, service games won, aces and double faults. Currently, this is the list of the players with the highest serve rating. As you can see, the only player to go above the 300 mark is Giovanni Pachi Pericard, the best server on the tour right now. But Draper, in the match against Rune, had a serve rating of 304, which is in fact higher than the average of any player in the world for the past year. Now sure, it's only one match, but the numbers are ridiculous. 10 aces while hitting 0 double faults. In comparison, Rune hit 1 ace while making 2 double faults. In the opening set, Draper lost only 4 points on serve, and for the entire match, he faced exactly 0 breakpoints. He wasn't just good when serving, he was untouchable. But Draper wasn't just great in the final. In fact, the level of tennis that Draper played in the past week or so is reflected in his results. In the entire tournament, Jack dropped just a single set. On his way to the final, Draper overcame opponents such as Brazilian prodigy João Fonseca, who actually went on to play and win the Phoenix Challenger right after his defeat.
The Fonseca rocket ship stops in Phoenix.
Then came one of the hardest hitting players on tour, Ben Shelton. And to make this run even more special, Draper faced the 2 Indian Wells champions of the last 3 editions, 2022 champion Taylor Fritz and 2023-2024 champion Carlos Alcaraz. In fact, this was the first time Alcaraz lost at Indian Wells since his epic 2022 match against Rafael Nadal, putting an end to a 16-match winning streak. Of course, we tend to only see the glory, but getting to this point hasn't been a smooth path for Jack Draper. After his breakthrough 2022 season, when he first cracked the top 100, everything seemed to be falling into place. But just when Draper was gaining momentum, his progress came to a screeching halt. In 2023, a serious shoulder injury forced him to the sidelines for 6 months. Before the injury, Draper was ranked a career-high 38 in the world, but with no matches, no points, and no rhythm, his ranking plummeted to 123. For some players, a setback like this could be career-defining, and not in a good way. Many talented athletes have been derailed by injuries and never quite recovered their full potential, but Draper saw the setback as an opportunity. He understood what it would take to achieve his goals and committed to a stricter training regime.
This is the sort of training I need to do more of if I want to get fitter.
And he has clearly paid off. Over the past year and a half, he has steadily climbed the rankings. And now, he's sitting at number 7 in the world, with the 3rd most points on the tour in 2025. This rise has been nothing short of incredible. But if Draper truly wants to establish himself amongst the sport's elite like Djokovic, Sinner and Alcaraz, he needs to consistently have good results. And, as we know, tennis is not only played on hard court, but also clay and grass. After the Miami Masters, the tour shifts to the slowest and most physically demanding surface in the game, clay, a surface that hasn't historically been Jack's favorite. If there's one comment from this year's Indian Wells tournaments that stood out to me, It was something Novak Djokovic said.
The ball is bouncing on the center courts, higher than some of the highest clay courts, to be honest.
That's exactly why Draper thrived in the desert. The lively conditions let him dictate points with his heavy lefty forehand, opening up angles and keeping his opponents on the defensive. Sound familiar? That's because we've seen Rafael Nadal use this exact blueprint to dominate on clay for nearly 2 decades. But somehow, clay is Draper's worst surface. The numbers don't lie. His career win percentage on hard courts is 74%, while on grass, 57%, and on clay, just 56%. And the worst of all, trending in the wrong direction. In 2021, he won 58% of his clay court matches, but by 2024, that number has fallen to just 42%. That means he lost more matches than won on clay last year. So why does he struggle on a surface that, in theory, should suit his game? While clay rewards the most physically relentless players, those who can slide into the shots and extend rallies that seem to be over. And while Draper's shot making is phenomenal, his court coverage has lagged behind. The upside is that Draper isn't the same player as he was a year ago. He has had a special focus on his fitness and improving his footwork. And the way he beat top-tier competition in Indian Wells wasn't just impressive, it really felt like a breakthrough. At the same time, sure, translating his strengths to clay would help his ranking and maybe even make him a contender for this year, depending on how well he does in the pre-French Open tournaments. But even if he never becomes elite on clay and grass, 2 out of the 4 Grand Slams are still played on hardcourt. A surface Draper has proven to be elite with the US Open semifinal, and now a Masters 1000 title. If Draper can bring last week's level to New York or Melbourne, things could get very interesting. So, did we just witness the moment Jack Draper became a legitimate Grand Slam threat? Or was Indian Wells just a one-off? Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.